Hi everyone.
Hi. Hey.
Have you guys ever watched television and come across a commercial that totally bashes a political candidate?
Mm-hmm.
Especially, you see it now, especially with the campaign, Ted Cruz versus Trump, so on and so forth, with stupid nonsense are thrown back at each other. If you see these commercials, you've been exposed to propaganda. Propaganda is the use of words or images to advocate political or social cause, usually against another person or another belief system. Well, my name is John Rodell, and today I'm going to explain to you what propaganda is, and give you examples throughout history, starting from the Industrial Revolution to the election of 1800 to World War II to modern day. The Columbian Encyclopedia's definition of propaganda is the manipulation of public opinion through the use of flags, symbols, images, or written or spoken words. This is a totally different form of communication because its sole purpose is to sway public opinion. Propaganda, though, didn't really start until the Industrial Revolution with the invention of the printing press. For example, if it wasn't for the printing press, Thomas Paine's book, Common Sense, wouldn't have been popular at the time and it wouldn't have spread throughout the colonies. Also, during the Industrial Revolution, Ben Franklin created what was called the Dueling or Die campaign with the flag you see here. This flag represents the different colonies at the time, which I'll explain in a little bit. This flag was also used in two separate wars, the first war being the French and Indian War. And this flag was used to get the colonists together to go and fight the French and the Indians and also to support the British troops. The second war was the American Revolution, and this flag helped gather the colonists and fight the British Empire. So this form of propaganda helped us win two wars. Soon after the American Revolution, Thomas Jefferson went up against John Adams in the election of 1800. A newspaper at the time, who was very pro-Jefferson, threw a lot of anti-Adams propaganda, and obviously the newspaper was pro-Jefferson, and in helping Jefferson throw anti-Adams propaganda at him, this got people on Jefferson's side, and with that happening, Jefferson eventually was elected to office. So during 1800 to 1939, there was still propaganda going around. But the Nazi government was famous for creating propaganda during World War II, as seen right here. You got a Jewish man looking sinister behind the Allied-powered flags. You got England, you got America, you got Russia. This propaganda to the left makes the Jewish man look like he's the enemy. Then you got to the right, the Nazi government used this a lot too. They glorified their people, their Aryan race, with a tall, healthy, perfect Aryan holding a flag, and the stereotypical German had blonde hair. They also used radio as part of their propaganda, spilling anti-Semitic propaganda throughout Europe and having the European population going against the Jewish community. With the development of technology after World War II to modern day, people now have the options, the choice to spill out their own persuasive messages through the use of Facebook, Twitter, and so forth. A perfect example of this would be the election of 2012, where President Obama, with propaganda being thrown out, people thought he was not a U.S. citizen. And this changed a lot of people's opinions at the time. Then you got another form of propaganda at the time. In 2012, they used Photoshop. They photoshopped him with his hand over his heart, using his left hand instead of his right. So this helped people go against Obama, and it shows today how people are he's not still favorable throughout the country. We can see propaganda has developed and is part of our society. From the Industrial Revolution to present day, people have the power to manipulate public opinion. So keep an eye out during this presidential election for propaganda. Don't fall for anything less than the truth, and this will help you elect who you want to be president. Good night. My name is John Rodell.